Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our class for today. For today's session, we will talk about on how you're going to be able to do your introduction, your um, problem statement, research question, and I'm going to give you examples of actual research proposals of your schoolmates who is currently in grade 12 on how they were able to have done their paper. So let me just share screen. Share screen here. Okay. Is it visible? If it's visible, can you give me a thumbs up? Okay, thank you. Okay, so research problem and the research question. So making words meaningful, preceding number 7, of course, is number 8, no? And you've already heard conclusive statements on how to be able to, make meaningful words out of, let's say, the observations that you have made. I think I've asked you to do an observation using your 5 senses. I've asked you to explore the campus, and you were able to write it down in a paragraph. And in the activity, I told you to be able to look for similar words and unique observations and come up with a parang a summary of what you have been able to have seen. Now, this is how you try to create those meaningful words, which is very important in a qualitative research. Um, it sounds boring, but that's the way to do it. You try to observe as many things as possible when you do your qualitative research. And from there, you try to pick up those similar words, put it all together, get those distinct observations, put them also, and come up with a particular statement on describing a particular observation. Now, what immediately comes to your mind the moment you hear the following words? The problem and the question. And that's why in the research that you're going to do, it would always start with a problem and questions, because those questions will be answered later on by your participants. Okay, so you need to be able to gather the answers to the question that you're going to formulate to hopefully help you in solving or giving a clear understanding of the research that you're going to be able to do. So the problem now is that how are you going to be able to compare and to contrast the two things? First is the research problem. Now, the ultimate goal of the research is not only to propose ways of studying the things or people, kunyari, being able to understand the culture of Filipinos who love basketball, particularly Barangay Ginebra, or groups of young people being able to play this particular online game, or a place. No, why is it that young people or the kids would love to go to this area in the mall, doon sa arcade, no? And events. Why is it that in another country, when they celebrate New Year, they just stay in one place? December 31, they stay in a big part. They celebrate it there. After New Year, they go home, and that's it. But for example, for Filipinos, they celebrate it at home, no? But the celebration doesn't stop there. It continues until, early in the morning. So we're going to do this to discover and to introduce new practices and strategies or techniques in solving your research problem. Now, when you feel perplexed or you're anxious about what to do about something, you are doubtful, or a question you are incapable of answering, you come to think of conducting research as an investigation or inquiry. Because of that problem, you would want to be able to answer it. Now, another important part is the background of the problem. Now, this is very important because you need to be able to tell your readers where you are coming from. normally in the problem or the back of the problem, you need to be able to state there um, uh, a prior information of uh, your research. There would be 3 to 4 references needed with citations in the background of the problem. Okay, the background of the problem, or also known as the background of the study. So later on, you'll be able to see, no, what is inside the background of the study. Now, reading for rich background ideas about the problem is also another way to discover some theories or principles to support your study. Itong background of the problem or background of the study, ito yung parang pahapyaw of trying to understand where your study is coming from. And later on, we have the research questions. It enables you to generate a set of research questions, your ability to identify your research problem, and to formulate the questions depends on the background knowledge you have about the topic. So there are certain ways and formats to be able to do your research questions, which we're going to talk about very soon. Now, difficulties in life, for example, are problematic situations that will lead you to identify one topic to research on and centering your mind on the problem of that topic, which later on the title would have to be approved so you can move on. And you can formulate general or mother problem of your research work. So later on, yung mga research, the problem statement and the research questions can later on be edited, no? It can actually change depending on the course of your actual research. Now, the specific questions are also called sub-problems. Okay, identify or direct you to exact aspect of the problem that your study has to focus on. So let me just give you some of the examples. Let me just stop share or stop this presentation. Okay. Para I can show you one example. Okay, let me show you the paper of Carl Mangahas. Okay. Okay. So this is an example of a paper conducted by Carl Mangahas, whose paper has been presented in an international and local conference. So, so that means that this particular research this is a full-blown research, no, from chapters 1, 2, and 3, chapters 1 to 5. So you can see in the first page would be the title, the actual title of the paper, a case study of academic background or academic burnout among senior high school students in St. Patrick's School of Quezon City. And then you see here the introduction. Normally in the introduction, it has 5 parts. Okay, the first paragraph would be the context. When you say context, it would tell all of us a superficial information, pahapyaw na information about your research. Now, you notice here that there is a citation, no? So on the first paragraph of your introduction, which is the context, may citation na kaagad. So here, burnout was described by the author, Carl Mangahas. Ayun, describe niya getting it from the World Health Organization in 2019. You also notice, no, that yung kanyang citation is 5 years, no? 90, 21, 22, 23. Pasok. Okay, but there are also some, notice also na he also quoted some of the authors in 1996. Okay lang naman yun because it's definition. So that's the first part, context. And the second paragraph would be the content. Now, the content this time would be a deeper explanation, okay, of your research. So saan mo kukunin tong content na to? You could actually get this one from the literature that you're going to get. Noticeable also here is that there is an author already, a citation. So sa context, content, okay, there's a citation. So mas malalim na explanation. And then on the third on the third paragraph would be the contrast. Ito, basing on the contrast would still have a citation, but this time the contrast would tell us of a unique, okay, a unique explanation of the research itself. Yung kakaiba talaga at hindi siya common, so you can actually put it here. So that's the content, the contrast. So you have the context, the content, and the contrast. So that's the third paragraph. Now, moving on to the fourth paragraph would be the aim of the study. So you see here, in the fourth paragraph, Carl made mention of this one. The study aims to understand the concept of burnout in students. Okay? So explain mo yun. You could probably explain the aim of your study in three important points, no? Tatlong important points or tatlong aims of the study. And then on the last paragraph, which is the fifth paragraph, would be what particular qualitative research will you be doing? So sabi dito, this research will make use of a qualitative case study. Tapos nag-quote siya ng author, yung author ng case study, who is Robert Dean. So in-explain niya ganyan. So again, when you do later on the introduction, don't forget the format, the context, the content, the contrast, the aim of the study, and the particular research design. Okay, yan yung introduction. And then, after the introduction, saan ba yung... is the problem of the study. Okay, so here in the problem of the study, normally there are four sentences, no? The first is, ang ilalagay niyo dun sa the problem of the study is, on the first sentence, ilalagay niyo dun the actual words, particularly the problem of the study is, sasabihin niyo kaagad kung ano yung problem ng study ninyo. So with this one, yung academic burnout, the problem of the study is the plethora of effects that academic burnout presents to students. So ini-state niya kaagad kung ano yung problema. And then the second sentence would be particularly, yung second sentence, you need to be able to look for a citation that would say that there is truly a problem. So ito, what Carl did was to look for a citations stating here that there is indeed academic burnout as a problem. So kinuha niya yan and he was able to place it here. So that's the second sentence. The second sentence would be a citation to substantiate or to tell us that there is indeed a problem in your first sentence. Now, the third sentence is the purpose, okay? The purpose of your study. O dito, nilagay dito yung purpose niya. Okay, ito yon. I think itong this significant, this would still be part of the second sentence. The third sentence is the purpose, okay? So the purpose of this qualitative case study is to understand, ayan. Yan, the purpose of this qualitative case study is to understand the concept of academic burnout in students. It seeks to discover, blah, blah, blah. So, yung purpose, ganun rin, may tatlong purpose ka na ilalagay. And the last one would be, the last sentence would be the words, the problem of the study will be answered by the following research questions. So yung sa kanya dito, normally 3 questions lang. Normally for qualitative research, as we have previously talked about, how or what lang yung iyong ilalagay. In this case of the academic burnout, ang research questions niya, 3. How does burnout affect students' academic status? And what are the challenges faced by students struggling with academic burnout? And the third one, how can academic burnout be alleviated? Okay, so, yun. That's how to do it, no? So, the introduction, the problem statement, and previously the background, no? Hindi ko makita yung background dito. So, that's how you do the first part of chapter 1. Okay, So later on, we will be doing the same activity that you will have to formulate yung introduction ninyo, the problem statement, including the research questions and the background. Okay, I think it's 9:05. That's the time we have. So I'll be uploading this lecture in our in the St. Patrick's School YouTube for your reference. Okay, so I will ask you later on of an activity, okay, regarding the introduction, the problem statement, and the background. So pang ano na yan, I think that would be activity 5 or activity 6. But when we get to meet up next meeting, I think yung the approval of the titles for the topics, for those naman who have finished their titles, please do the 10-3-1 activity. And after, when you're done with the 10-3-1 activity, we'll now be able to introduce you in doing the first few parts of chapter 1, which is the introduction, the problem statement, and the formulation of research questions and the background. Okay? So yeah, unti-unti na we're trying to enter already in the chapter, the first chapter of doing research. Okay, so I think yun lang naman. Okay, there's a question here. Are there any activities po? Christian, we have already, I think, 1, 2, 3. I think we have already 4 activities. Since you're purely online, we'll be able to ask you the same activities rin. Okay, so don't worry. You will be able to submit it naman. Okay? Sige. Okay, that's it for our class for this morning. I will see you again, I think tomorrow, no? Will you be in school tomorrow? Hindi, no? What time is your recollection?
Sir, hindi po. 10 po.
10 ba or 9 o'clock ang Ay, wala. Ano
10
kayo?
po.
Synchronous kayo tomorrow, no? I think you'll be synchronous tomorrow. But I'll be uploading a video tomorrow because I need to be in North EDSA tomorrow for the first Lego League. But I'll try my best to get online. But if not naman, I'll be uploading the video lecture for tomorrow's session. But I'll try to be online even if I'm in North EDSA. Okay? Sige, thank you very much. And you can now go to your next class. Bye, everyone.